On a beautiful Wednesday evening in Nanaimo, we welcome you to Kakinishtuk Stadium here in the central part of the city for today's League One action, pitting Harbourside United up against the visiting Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Alex Shardsley, here to bring you all the action on the League One YouTube channel. We've got a big show for you off the pitch today. Of course, the women kicking off at 5:45. The men will follow at 8 o'clock for the women. Last action for them was on Friday night, May the 19th, a 1-1 result against the Victoria Highlanders. Harborside led 1-0 through a fair chunk of that game. Ava Alexander, aggressive on the ball, was able to chip the keeper, which came out to try and make a play. Harborside led 1-0, and then it was Victoria to tie it in stoppage time and come away with a 1-1 result. And certainly looking at the post-match reactions from both of those two teams, there was a different story. Victoria obviously very elated to get a result, to get a point. disappointment from a Harbourside standpoint. Harbourside's record moving to 1-3-1 this season through their first 5 games in League One history. We'll talk with Bobby Taylor, the head coach of the Harbourside women's team, coming up in our pre-game show. Coming up at halftime, we'll talk with the Harbourside captain, Mary Nichols, as the team gets ready to take on the Vancouver Whitecaps elite team here at 5:45. The Whitecaps 3-0 in League One play so far this year, coming off a 5-1 victory over Altitude on May the 12th. That is their last game in League One, although the team has been exceedingly busy on and off the pitch, playing a tournament in Zurich, Switzerland over the last couple of weeks, returning from that in recent days. So there will be a little bit of overlap from the team that went there. This is the team that we'll see here this afternoon. Ended up winning a FIFA-sponsored tournament over in Zurich, Switzerland, and we'll talk more about that as the game goes on. In terms of around the league, Vancouver coming off that game against Altitude, their 3rd win on the trot. Well, it'd be interesting to see sort of how they start this game. Coming into Nanaimo this afternoon, arriving here about 2 hours ago, just getting ready, getting set. Harbourside obviously here, based here, practiced yesterday, practiced Monday as well, and just very, very comfortable in these surroundings. We'll get to our feature interview in our pregame show. It is with Harbourside head coach for the women's team, Bobby Taylor, and we started with Friday's game against the Victoria Highlanders. Very, very easy to focus on the final minute, maybe the final 2 minutes, where Harbourside conceded that tying goal. Not really fair, though, given the way that Harbourside played in order to get there through the first 90 or 91 minutes or so.
Something that we did not do very well. I learned from it, and those were experiences so valuable to you for that's exactly right. I think it's safe to say that Kara's earned a rest, and also just slim in numbers this upcoming weekend over versus it's a we want to give time to players.
In terms of game time and travel, have logged a lot of miles over that time as well. What do you know about them in terms of a program and the team that you'll see here this evening and expectations out of the Whitecaps?
Yeah, I think the Whitecaps, they're an in-house program, so they know each other very well. They eat, sleep, breathe, soccer and school together. So they will have their systems dialed in, and they're young and they're fast. But I think our physicality and our direct play can really challenge them, and we hope to do that, challenge them. And we'll see what they have
In terms of your lineup, you talked about resting or rotating through. You've got some limited availability this upcoming weekend. How close are you to sort of your dedicated 11, or is it your goal to be able to rotate through, your 20 plus on any given afternoon?
I think we have some dedicated players, but we have to be aware of energy and people's lifestyles and what they have going on and other commitments. So any of our 26 players are ready to step in, and they're quality players. So we do a lot of talking about it before we set the roster, and there's always justifications for bringing in a player into the roster or having a player brought out, but we like to think that we think it out very, very long and deeply and with a lot of consideration.
That is Bobby Taylor talking to us here pregame as we have had the national anthems, the coin toss at halfway at midfield as we get set for today's game pitting Harborside against the Whitecaps. Let's take a look at the weather, pitch level, the odd breeze here and there. Otherwise, it is a delightful evening for football here in Nanaimo. 20 degrees, clear skies. We will see that way through the rest of the evening. For Harbourside, Emily Robotham will start. For the home side, it'll be 5 on the back, potentially with Gillian Stewartson moving up to midfield occasionally. Jade Dilliborough on the left wing back, Cassidy Byrne over on the right side, the centre backs of Mary Nichols and Maya Creed, with Stewartson kind of playing that transition role. Saki Mashida along with Jasmine Wilkinson patrolling in through midfield, with Wilkinson more attacking in that role. Shea Batty, Ava Alexander, and then Erin Jensen, the 3 up front for Harborside. For the Vancouver Whitecaps, their starting lineup looks as so. Carly Urchatz is in net, Iba Oching, Kira Blundell, Noelle Sather, Joy Kimwemwe, Sienna Gibson, Ashley Roberts, the captain, Ire Omateo, Emma Yee, Kira Martin, and Tia Mason are the 11 to start here this afternoon. Be interesting to see how indeed this one gets underway, as Harborside will be looking for a quick start. They'll be looking for a way to get themselves into the game very, very early, and an opportunity to try and assert some dominance. Catch a Vancouver Whitecaps team, I don't want to say sleeping, but certainly catching them ahead of them getting into the game all that much. Coming up at halftime, we'll talk with Mary Nichols, the Harborside captain. Had a chance to chat with her Monday evening after training, just to talk a little bit about how the season has gone so far. This will mark the first game as well, the 6th one for Harborside this season, but the first without number 4, Cara Dunlop, in the lineup. She was the only Harborside women's player to play every single minute of the season to date. We heard there from Harborside head coach Bobby Taylor that she has earned a rest, and a rest she is getting today. Harborside will be in their blue jerseys, the two-tone blue with the white trim, the lighter blue shorts, the darker blue socks in there as well. The Whitecaps will be in their road white jerseys with the navy shorts, a little bit of red trim in there as well, as Harborside appear to be switching over to the far side of the field. So Emily Robotham will go into the net to our right. And the Vancouver Whitecaps will move from our left to right in this first half. Whitecaps will have the kickoff as well. Remember the men's game coming up at 8 o'clock. The women to kick things off here at 5:45. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alex Ronsley. Pleasure to have you on board here for our action. League One action pitting Harborside FC, the Vancouver Whitecaps elite goal squad in this League One action. First league action for Vancouver for the Whitecaps in a couple of weeks, 12 days. And we are underway in this first half. The Whitecaps moving from left to right, Harborside from right to left, and they will control in their own half. Oching back inside as was played there by Sather. And Harborside just looking to control, just trying to get a little bit of early possession. Battle along that far side there with Harborside is stepping in to try and grab that ball away with Shea Batty. It's kicked out of play, but off Harborside, so it'll be a Vancouver throw. Just short of the halfway line. Be interesting to see Jasmine Wilkinson. This will be another chance for her in Nanaimo. A late arrival to this lineup. It brings a ton of experience through the Team Canada program, as do many of the Whitecaps, incidentally, as well through NCAA soccer down in the United States, Texas A&M, in Arizona last couple of seasons as well, as that's headed out of play. And again, another throw to Vancouver. A little bit of a slower start in this first half. All the play has been inside the Whitecaps half, however, as they go back to the goalkeeper, Urchas. On this near side, Oching plays it up the right wing, intended for Oching, pardon me, as that's kicked right back by Harbourside. Alexander plays it ahead. Jensen, a little bit indecisive on whether or not to run for that, and it's put out of play on this near side by Tia Mason. Just getting wires crossed potentially with Saki Machida, who is on the ball right now. Jensen and Machida kind of eyeing each other off as that ball went through. Nichols, the captain. Good first touch, able to keep control of it. Goes into Wilkinson at center. Stripped of it. Ball falls loose. That's for Stewardson, playing in that sort of defensive mid-third center back role. As the Whitecaps try to play that in, Stewardson again, Nichols, this time able to play it out, but only as far as a Harborside boot. And along this near side, it'll be Machida to Alexander, left wing. Closely watched, guarded there by Oching. Goes back, Machida. Lofted ball, the pass intended for Wilkinson, has to run onto it and will pressure the keeper as the Whitecaps play it back. Good pressure from Wilkinson, nearly forced the error, but the Whitecaps will get away with it, and Jasmine Wilkinson asserting her presence early in this one, just inside the 3-minute mark, as the Whitecaps begin a break. A pass down that left side, looking to latch onto that along the far side. Believe that's Martin trying to center. It's in the box. It rolls through everybody, and it's played just to the edge of the 18-yard box along this right side. Sather stepping up, delivers to the spot, and a ball put over the net and harmlessly out of play for a goal kick. The numbers on the back of the Whitecaps jerseys, it's a red outline, and it can be a little bit tough to pick up. So my apologies in advance if the ID on a couple of the players from the Whitecaps is just a little bit off until we get used to formation and whatnot. It's just it's very difficult, particularly over that far side, to spot a red outline on a white jersey from the distance that we are at. Robotham will put the goal kick down just to the right of her net. Played out right through the middle. Stewardson battling Machida, being worked over by Blundell. And it'll be Stewardson to bring it away. Plays back over to the far side. Byrne had to hustle as she was pressured by two Whitecaps players. And the ball falls loose right at center. Played up and ahead. Nice move into the attack as it's played ahead, chasing after it. Nichols trying to watch her mark. Played out just outside the box. Good boot there is Dillabo. Got a crucial touch on it to get that out of danger. And Vancouver, who have had a lion's share of the possession, but only the one chance toward the goal, which was skied well over. That last line of defense for Harborside is bent but not broken so far.
Sorry, what color?
I was going to ask you to pick first.
As it's played over that far side. And the Whitecaps will bring it back to center. With it now, Mateo. Has support down the right side. The run from Oching delivers, and Oching to run on one, but the ball just doesn't quite get to where Oching was. Nichols will concede a corner, and it's the game's first set piece. And it'll be a corner down to our right. Everybody back for Harborside with the exception of Erin Jensen, who has 2 marks on her. There is an option for a short corner. Ashley Roberts standing along the right touchline, but it will be a long delivery. It's sent in by Martin as it's headed away. Wilkinson got the second and ultimately crucial touch on it Gets it to Jensen, who plays it to the wing, but only straight back to Martin. Martin up and ahead, running onto it is Roberts, trying to center. Rowbotham's down, and it is kicked towards the goal off a Harbourside defense and out of play for a corner. Rowbotham made an initial play, was down, the defense bailing her out and getting in the way of a shot, skying it over the goal, and our second corner of the game, and the Whitecaps controlling the early possession, controlling the early territory as well. 7th minute of play here, still scoreless at Kakinishtuk in Nanaimo. Pleasure to have you on board here this afternoon. Roberts delivers just to the top of, I guess, near the penalty spot as that goes over everybody. He might have glanced off ahead of a Whitecaps player in the box. Goes to the left sideline. Kept in play. Jensen trying to gather for Harbourside, making a step up there, ultimately to Stewardson, who will clear. Just relieve a little bit of pressure as the ball trickles into the Whitecaps half, and the visitors will regather. Vancouver, probing ball. Nichols, though, first to it. And that was easily able to get out of the way of, or get that ball away from Joey Kimwemwe, who will get it off the throw. Heads it straight back to Oching. The clearance from Alexander straight to Oching, and Oching will control. Along the right wing. Plays it up and ahead is a pass into the middle, intended for Kimwemwe. Bouncing ball. Wilkinson had it for a second. It's played back. The Whitecaps, little give and go, and here's a run by Sather for Sather. Kimwemwe. Nice boot and a toe poke to get it away from a Harbourside check, but the Whitecaps very, very good in possession. Here's another run. It's Emma Yee trying a long drive. That shot blocked. She'll dish it back to Sather. Sather, a step over. On her left side, a drive to the net, and it bounces twice and wide of the goal. And that will be a goal kick. So the Whitecaps, 8 minutes in, it's been all them in terms of pressure. They've had, we'll call it 3 chances to the nets, but have yet to directly test Emily Rowbotham in net for Harbourside. She'll signal for the long ball, so Rowbotham keen to clear this and hope that the midfield and forwards can get into the game. It's been a lot of play inside the Harborside half so far. Wilkinson wanted a free kick on a push off the goal kick, but the referee unmoved. Harborside down the right side. Jensen off her chest plays it and gets it straight back, and Jensen will go for a run down the right side. Return feed into the middle. Alexander, the intended target, never got there. Wilkinson again hovering, stepping up to try and grab that is Byrne. She'll give away a free kick this time. And again, the Whitecaps will have a chance to enter the attacking zone. Those listening in the pregame show, just apologies about some of the audio issues we had in the pregame show. Still working on some teething issues with the tech side of the broadcast. We hope we've got that sorted for the rest of the game. We apologize if you missed the interview with Bobby Taylor. We'll see if we have some time to air that at halftime, but Mary Nichols will be our guest at halftime. Throw in right side for Harbourside. Wilkinson headed it ahead. Batty trying to knock it down as well. It ultimately came off her and out of play for a throw. And again, the Whitecaps straight back into Harbourside territory, although a good interception will get it to Wilkinson. Wilkinson left side. Feeds Dillabout. Up to Alexander. Alexander looking to feed Machida as she was running on a path. Wilkinson will get it back. Goes back to Nichols. And up the wing here to Ava Alexander. Had the goal against Victoria on Friday night. Thought that would stand up as the game winner, but it was one of the final kicks of the game for Victoria, which tied it. Jensen heads it over for Shea Batty. He's the answer to a trivia question for Harbourside fans in terms of the first goal in franchise history. All the way back. Seems an eternity ago, back at the end of April. Long throw. Jensen heads it towards attacking territory, but couldn't direct the header, and it's out of play for a throw-in. 11th minute coming to a close momentarily. It's been all Whitecaps in terms of both pressure and possession. No hurry in restarting this one are the Whitecaps, although the short goal kick will go over to the far side. Returning on this near side, that's Mateo. Through ball up to the middle, one-touch pass back, intercepted. Machida had it for a moment, just overplayed it a little bit, lost it as the Whitecaps will regather. Right wing at center, played in towards the middle, Sather. Dances to the left, the pass over to the far side, looking to try and advance it ahead. That's Kira Martin. Played intended over that far side, but it was intercepted by Cassidy Byrne, playing a right wing back role this afternoon. Effectively 5 back for Harbourside. Although perhaps more of a midfield role for Jillian Stewartson to connect the D and the midfield. She's been very impressive in the game she's played so far here in Nanaimo, and the ones available online away from home as well. Out of play for another throw-in. The Whitecaps quick to reactivate the ball. Looking to switch. That's Sather. Goes back and eventually Oching on the pass from Omateo. Oching right side, back to Omateo. Whitecaps will look to regroup. The pass ahead, that's for Mason, or from Mason, I should say. Taken in the middle, Sather. Right side pass, Emma Yee. Just overplayed it on the first touch, runs into her opposing number, beats Machida. Yee, the dish off to the left-hand side, a long shot, the one hopper to Robotham. And we'll call that the first shot on goal for the game. Probably, judging by my angle, would have tucked into that left post. Regardless, forcing a save out of Emily Robotham. And Harborside trying to clear, they only get as far as center. Oching working her way through. Alexander peeled off a challenge. Still Oching from the box, off the post. Buried into the right-hand post, out past an outstretched Robotham. Everybody just backed off Oching, who had an avenue and a wide-open lane to net. Delivered a great shot as well, and just couldn't quite guide it on target. Is Jensen back the other way on a rush for Harbourside? Jensen has Wilkinson, gets a shot to the goal and narrowly just wide. Good response from Harbourside. Aaron Jensen down the right side. Had Wilkinson streaking through the middle as well. It would have had to concede a bit of territory to get it back to Wilkinson. Not sure if she had the avenue to pass it. But regardless, great run down that right side by Aaron Jensen. And a goal kick will come. That is Harborside's best chance of the game. It comes inside the 14th minute. Whitecaps begin the breakouts once more. Mateo. Pass up to the middle. Emma Yee has space. Nichols watching her. Yee still on it. The through ball. Left side gets there. Harborside won an offside. A shot and they score. Harborside's defense put the hand up for an offside, but the flag stayed down. And the Whitecaps open the scoring. It is a 1-0 goal. Just trying to get a read on the number on that left side. And after a ton of pressure, the Whitecaps open the scoring, and it's 1-0. It might be Kira Blundell, but we'll have to get a quick read on that. Just wasn't able to pick up a number. Again, the red outline on the white jersey, it's a little difficult from the distance that we are at. As again, Blundell, this time the little back heel, but this one will be marked offside, and it was Blundell with the goal. We got confirmation from Matt Carter down at field level just in a moment, but the 14th minute Kira Blundell has her second goal of the League One season. Dillabel up to Ava Alexander. The pass over the head of Jensen and in towards the Whitecaps goal. Played over to the far side. So fairly confident that is Kira Blundell. Played the first 2 games, complete 90-minute efforts for the Whitecaps. 45 in her third against Altitude. Has 1 goal coming into action here this evening, and that is her second, if it does indeed stand up as Blundell's tally. Played right on that line. Harbourside thought it might have been offside, as a free kick will come here against Harbourside. Just trying to touch that ball through. Kim Wemwe got it ahead and then just collided with the Harbourside defense. It was Cassidy Byrne who picked up a very minor knock, but quickly back up. And this will be a free kick from around 25 yards out. And we will have the pomp and circumstance with Harbourside asking for the wall to be set up 10 yards away from the ball. So they are setting up right on the 18 yards. So we'll call this 28 yards out from net. And a chance here for the Whitecaps to extend their lead. They lead 1-0, 18th minute. The long shot through traffic right on Robotham. She parries it down and is able to swallow up the rebounds. And a good save in net from Emily Robotham. She's been sharp. She's had to make a couple of good saves with a lot of play inside the Harborside half. Machida to Alexander, plays ahead. Jensen running onto it left side, flag stays down. Jensen looking for the cross, but a good boot in the right time by Omateo.
Whitecaps FC goal scored by number 9, Kira Blundell.
So it is Blundell's goal, her second of the season. Dillabel. Machida back to Dillabel off the throw, got tied up with a tackle, comes back to Nichols. She'll run onto it. Bodied on the ball by Kim Wemwe. And the Whitecaps able to clear. Still in possession, Machida trying to knock a ball loose. That's the goal scorer, Blundell. Played over to the right side. Running onto it is Emma Yee. She's got a little bit of room to work. Options to her left and right. Ignores both and eventually intended for Kim Wemwe along this near side, but just the timing not quite right, and it's an easy run out and gather for Robotham. Quick move down the left side, Ava Alexander. Tackled, there was Machida on the charging Sather. Alexander left side. Tried to play it up the wing. Both teams will call for it. Alexander thought it came off the Whitecaps last, but the Whitecaps will get the throw. Oching quickly plays it in. Centered. Kim Wemwe, the target, gets there. Pass from Nichols back to Robotham. She has to clear. Only gets it as far as Sather inside center. Blundell plays it down over to the far side. That's for Roberts. The long shot and they score! The long drive from Ashley Roberts tucks in underneath the crossbar. And the Whitecaps from distance have a 2-0 lead. Roberts just sort of playing around with the ball a good 30, 35 yards out. And is just able to get past an outstretched Robotham who was, I don't want to say out of her net. She was in proper position, but the ball from, I believe, Roberts finding that space over the top of Robotham's reach and the crossbar. And Harborside find themselves now down 2-0.
FC goal scored by number 15, Ashley Roberts.
So confirmed for Roberts. Roberts has played a couple of games for the Whitecaps to date. 66 minutes in one, 28 in another. So her third action or game action here this evening. First goal of the season. The Whitecaps start up once more. Mateo. Wearing the captain's armband. Mateo gets it back. couple of chances from Harbourside, just few and far between. The Whitecaps have controlled possession. Have really given Harbourside not a whole lot. It was the run down the right side from Jensen. Probably the best chance of it so far. Now looking to center over the top, and offside will be the call. As looking to try and flick that one up and in for, I believe, Blundell. She was just half a step ahead of the defense. Shot hit the post if we're tracking those sorts of things. And the Whitecaps control. It has been all Vancouver. In terms of possession, territory, control, pacing. Just Harbourside still trying to find their footing. Over to that far side it goes. Whitecaps still controlling. Back to the netminder, Urschatz. Just running out of options along that far side as the Whitecaps move it up the left wing. Pass cut off by Byrne, looking to gain control. She's battling, gets a ball to the middle. Stewartson was the intended target, but it kicks back again to the Whitecaps D. And looking to enter once more, it's Sather. Sather marshalling the through ball, past Dillaball, trying to connect, but running out of real estate will be Emma Yee. Just didn't quite have the room to execute that play. You can see as she's running with the ball there, Noelle Sather just pushing Yee along, saying, go, 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 I'll get it to you. It is the one thing, watching practice on Monday here at Kikinishtuk, Harborside were really working on trying to find that one pass through a defense and make sure it stuck, make sure it was on target, and it was able to be run onto. It was a drill watching that someone like Jasmine Wilkinson was very good at, just in terms of her control and ball distribution. It's interesting to watch her tonight. She hasn't had the opportunity to really embed herself into the game. Here's a chance now as Rowbotham's clearance off the head of Wilkinson. She'll head it down to herself, looking to control to get it over to Machida, but she's tackled by a couple of Whitecaps players. Wilkinson will regather the ball herself. Now down the right side, the sliding tackle just knocked the ball loose on a good play, and the Whitecaps able to regather. 24th minute, the Whitecaps lead 2-0. Thanks so much for joining us here at Kikinishtuk Stadium in Nanaimo. Stadium itself was renamed last year, I believe. It was formerly NDSS, the Nanaimo District Secondary School, which is the school you can see in the background of our shot here at the field. Was renamed Kikinishtuk, which is a name from the local First Nation, the Nanaimo First Nation, effectively translating to pass it back, to give back, which is something you would hear a lot from players, Nanaimo players, soccer players, many, many years ago. So that is the meaning behind Kikinishtuk. Certainly becoming more a stronger part of the local language. People still very set in NDSS Field was the same when former Newcastle Island, just off the coast of Nanaimo here, was renamed Seisachin, which is the traditional name for it in the Nanaimo. Back in end of 2021. An elementary school here in Nanaimo was also renamed around the same time as Kikinishtuk. Again, from the Nanaimo language. So, love the embedding and the return and the renaming and the acknowledgement and the learning that First Nations language allows us to do. And Kikinishtuk, it's, selfishly, it's fun to say, but it's also has a meaning, which I think is really, really cool as well. Ball along that left touchline, it's out of play. It'll go the way for Harbourside for a throw. Decent crowd beginning to file in as well. Probably a couple of hundred here to watch the women at a 5:45 start. The men will come at 8. I'd say probably 2/3 of the crowd, if not 3/4, along this near side. The sun setting to our back, so the crowd on that far side sort of looking into it as it sets behind Mount Benson. Ball intended for Jensen, doesn't get there, and it's cleared away. And here come the Whitecaps once more. Kira Martin in the pink boots. Plays it down that far side touchline, looking for support. Tons of options in the middle, all alone, but Nichols able to body that away. Gets it up to Machida. She has a little bit of space, goes back, and Harborside looked to control. Batty tried the tight turn, was stripped of it though. And the Whitecaps will regather once more. Omateo. Ball through the middle, beat Nichols, and running onto it now. Here's Blundell. Has a goal already this afternoon. Pressured, gets around Jay Dillabel. Blundell cutting in, left boot, shot towards the goal, blocked by Nichols. And it kicks back out to outside the area. Mateo. D-to-D pass over to Fatia Mason. Support down that left touchline misplayed though, and Harborside will have a throw. 27th minute here from Kikinishtuk in Nanaimo. The Whitecaps a 2-0 advantage. Throw-in will come right in front of the Whitecaps bench. First, we'll call it midweek game for Harborside as well on a Wednesday night. Got a couple of these. So far, they've been Fridays and Sundays as well for Harborside here at home. Ava Alexander down the left side looking for an option to her right foot. Tries to center, but ultimately sitting on it on a good play there by the Whitecaps defender. And it's taken away. And the Whitecaps will again control, look to run it out on Mateo. Over to the far side. Mason. She'll run it out. Played in through the center. Kira Martin. Calling for it and eventually getting it. Sather. Back to Mateo. Mason. Pass up through the middle. Taken away by Wilkinson. One-touch pass, Machida, just over the head of Jensen. Couldn't connect with her. And Mason will take it away for the Whitecaps. The through ball, running onto it. Here's a chance, Kimwemwe, but she's offside. A good early flag from the linesman along this near side, who has had a very busy half. I believe that's, by my count, the third offside for the Whitecaps here. Continuing to press, they lead 2-0. Ball played right to a Whitecaps head as Stewardson gets knocked down. Ball goes loose along that left wing. Played up through the middle. Nichols getting the boot, plays it out to center. Wilkinson off the head, rolls off Batty. To Jensen, back to Shea Batty. Just ran into a tackle, looking to regather it is Batty wearing the number 3. Got the pivotal goal for Harborside in their debut game at the end of April here in League One. She is the one to get that first goal. Still along that left wing, I should say, trying to work, but it's out of play for a throw. Byrne will come up and take it. Has typically delivered long, Cassidy Byrne, so far this afternoon. A lot inside her own half. This one probably about 10-15 yards inside the Whitecaps half. Gets it ahead to Wilkinson, headed for Byrne. Played Wilkinson outside the zone, lofts to net, she scores! Jasmine Wilkinson turns and kicks it and volleys into the net in the top corner, and Harborside are back in this one. Jasmine Wilkinson, and it's 2-1. Wilkinson's first goal with Harborside comes in her third game, had played against Victoria and TSS. Considerable minutes in both, 90 minutes in one, and she gets a goal here midway through this first half, the 30th minute.
Harborside
Here's the goal.
Scored by number 19, Jasmine Wilkinson.
Wilkinson's first, gets Harbourside back in this, and that's her danger. It was from a long way out as well. Say 20, 25 yards out from net. Just turned, slung the left boot at it. I'm certain was in a lot more control than how it looked. It looked like she just turned and fired, but it was placed well into that top left corner, and not much the Whitecaps goalkeeper could do. And there is the danger of Jasmine Wilkinson, Team Canada pedigree, NCAA pedigree, Texas A&M. A high level soccer player and showing her stuff with Harborside. Free kick on what I believe might be a handball against Harborside. This will be a long way out, and it's played over to the far side. That's from Kiera Martin. Played into the box. Nichols boots it up and ahead, intended for Wilkinson, but goes to Martin. Back along the near side, Oching. Mason. Trying to get past that far side. Good boot by Batty. Plays it ahead. Jensen pass had a lot on it. Jensen did well to control down the right side. Edge of the area. Jensen working her way in. Trying to cross. Gets across, but nobody there. Trickles to Alexander along this near side. Plays it in. Wilkinson looking to turn. Trying to control. She's bodied and beaten on a battle. And the ball cleared out. Harborside just continuing to establish a little bit more presence as a ball inadvertently kicked in tight. I believe got Kim Wemwe just in a tough area. It was off the boot of Maya Creed, playing one of those central back rolls, just trying to clear, and from a couple of feet away, you get a clearance from a defenseman, and yeah, it's going to hurt. I'm not sure if it got her in the body or if it was higher up in the head area, but the trainer for the Whitecaps just looking over, making sure that Kim Wemwe is okay. (2-1) the score in favor of the Whitecaps. Jasmine Wilkinson has the lone goal for Harborside, I should say. Looks like this will be a little bit of an extended stoppage. I think they'll do a drinks break midway through this first half, a little over midway. Coming up at halftime, we'll re-air that interview from our pregame show just due to the audio issues in it. Bobby Taylor and I spoke before this afternoon's game. And then we'll also chat with Harborside captain and defender Mary Nichols, as Kim Wemwe still down on the pitch, just getting looked over by the trainer. Can't really tell if there's too much action on the Whitecaps bench, but Joy Kim Wemwe is up, walking off under her own steam. She'll get taken to center, not immediately to her bench. It's first half really a lion's share, and that's probably putting it a little mildly in terms of possession and control, pacing of the play, territory in favor of the Whitecaps. But when Harborside have been able to get a chance, they've made good on it. Erin Jensen had a good chance that went just wide of the goal about 10 minutes in. Of course, the goal to Wilkinson. Ava Alexander's had a couple of looks from distance as well. So Kim Wemwe will just stay off the pitch for a split second. And now she's allowed back on by the referee, so she's obviously okay, which is fantastic to see. Played in on a long ball. Robotham corralling it in on the long, hopeful shot from Emma Yee. Nichols. Dillaba. On this left side, pass just out of her reach. It will go in for a throw. Oching. Played near side, Blundell. Now to Yee. Good boot by Dillaba. Gets that cleared to center, but Jensen couldn't connect on the pass, and Yee will get it straight back. Up and ahead, the through ball intended for Kim Wemwe, but unable to connect on that one, was well ahead. And Robotham to play it down. Nichols. Jade Dillabel looking to streak ahead from Machida, couldn't connect there. Whitecaps will regather. The longer this half is going on, the better Harbourside has looked, and a turnover forced here by Jensen. Just the ball didn't run her way. But Harbourside continuing to press. Good pinch by Batty. Jensen deflects it off a Whitecaps player and out of play. Really making something out of nothing there was Aaron Jensen. It was a very innocent-looking ball into the middle, and Jensen was able to just get a touch on it to send it her way. Bernal on that far side will play it ahead. Jensen trying to roll it off the top of her head and towards the area. It's cleared out. Stewartson couldn't connect on it. Kimwemwe battling with her. Stewartson to Wilkinson. Byrne. Nichols right at halfway. Dillabal on this left side. Machida trying to connect on that one. Got beaten to it. Here's Olching with speed down the right side. Running in towards the 18-yard box. Olching looking for support. The pass was lacking though. And Harborside will try to play it back down that left side where Olching was. But the pass for Alexander just out of her reach and unable to connect on it. 37 minutes gone in this first half. Whitecaps lead by a score of 2-1. Jasmine Wilkinson's first in Nanaimo is the Lauren home team goal, and what a goal it was. Yee. Back into the middle for Sather. Over to the far side, Mason. Mason has some support. Instead goes back to Omateo, and then Mason on that left side. Not a whole ton of press from Harborside, just content to see the three defenders working amongst themselves. A long ball, and well offside was Emma Yee. Easy decision for the linesman. By my count, that's number 4 for the Whitecaps here this evening. Nichols with the free kick. Plays it right through the middle off the head of Saki Machida. Ball rolling, protected there by Olching. To the right touchline. Plays it up the line. Yee bodied off it on a good check by Machida. Wilkinson. Little bit of miscommunication with Stewardson. Wilkinson able to take it back to Dillabel. Dillabel tries to cross. Heard two noises. Might have deflected off a Whitecap leg and fell nicely to the visitors. Shea Batty just got a touch on her check. I believe that might be Sienna Gibson, if I've done my numbers correctly, along that left side. Mason. Nichols intercepting that entry into the attacking zone. Stewardson back to Byrne. Long ball down the right side. The intended target, Jensen. She's got 2 on her, though. Plays it ahead. Wilkinson should run onto it, although she's just beaten to it. A little bit speedier with the Whitecaps. They look to clear only to center, and Harborside beginning to establish some back-to-back possessions. Byrne. Up for Jensen. And the pass from Batty. Couldn't connect on it. We'll go out for a throw-in to Harborside, however. Byrne will come up to take it again. Has favored the long throw. Again, the intended target was Wilkinson. Looking to bring ball to ground. Batty does. Shea Batty right side. Trying to beat her check. Does. Gets around. Cross opportunity. Finds support in the middle. Jensen has a ball fall to her feet. Gets it back to Batty outside. Wilkinson from distance. What can she muster? To her left foot. Long shot right on goal, but it's parried and gathered from a pretty similar position that Wilkinson scored in spectacular fashion earlier this half. This one right on the goalkeeper. And an easy save. 41st minute. We'll probably have, I would imagine, at least 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time just due to that injury to Joy Kimwemwe. Luckily, she's okay, still out there running. No issues, but we will get some substitutions here at the end of this first half. Try and get a read on numbers I believe that's Cassidy Byrne coming off along that right side, and it's Jay Dillabau along the left wing. So both left wing backs sub out.
Harborside substitution.
Here it is.
Into the game, number 16, Ella Gina, and number 21, Nicole Foglietta.
So Gignac and Foglietta in. Dillabo and Byrne out late in this first half. So it'll be Foglietta on the left side. She's replacing Dillabo. And then over that far side, Gignac replacing Cassidy Byrne. And then the three in the middle. I suppose the two plus Stewartson playing kind of that defensive mid role of Creed and Nichols will remain intact for now. Not afraid of an early substitution is Bobby Taylor. Keen to get some fresh legs as the ball rolling in towards Robotham. She'll control.
Whitecaps FC substitution into the game, number 19, Asia Turner.
And Asia Turner coming on and did not catch the number of who she took off. So we'll look to try and see where she slots into the lineup. Finding her ball at her feet, that's Yee. Rolls out of play. Throw-in will go to Foglietta. Two on the score is playing it ahead. Wilkinson trying again that move on a mid-air ball, swinging the left boot at it. Was unable to quite gather at that time. Got a substandard chance towards the goal, just rolled towards the net. Ball down along that left side and played ahead, is having a look, and that will be offside. Foglietta had a look at the linesman. Man, there wasn't much in it. Foglietta and Nichols were back. It was just half a step ahead for Joy Kimwemwe. So Creed will have it, about 35 yards out from her net. Robotham will step up to take the free kick. Stewartson. Trying the overlap ball. Here's Kimwemwe. Support is to the left, although it is an offside chance, and they'll finally get it over there now, but it is still offside. Benefiting from that offside position was Adria Turner. So her first touch of the ball in earnest, playing that left attacking mid-roll. Just comes in offside. Was not in an offside position when she received it, but was when the kick was made and benefited from that. Creed bodied it down. Played over that far side for Gignac. Has a fistful of the jersey and will earn a free kick and potentially more, as the referee wants a word with Ella Gignac, and she will get a yellow card. So 45th minute, I should say, pardon me. And Ella Gignac has the game's first infraction. And a long free kick opportunity here for the Whitecaps, who lead 2-1, entering stoppage time in this first half. Long ball lofted into the area, ball kicked away, comes back to the top of it. Yee had a whiff at it, trying to find a lane. It's just outside the area, and the Whitecaps will concede some territory in order to control. Here's on Mateo right side, looking to dance her way into the middle, bodied by Machida. Ball comes back for Roberts, delivers to the top of the box, but cleared away by Harbourside, and regathered by Kira Martin.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 2 minutes will be added on.
There you go. You heard from Matt Carter, our PA announcer. 2 minutes to come here in this first half. Mateo, deep in her own half, clears it down the right side. Yee, muscled off the ball by Foglietta. Plays it back to Nichols at half. Has support with Creed, instead holds, drives on a low pass to Jensen, just couldn't control. And the Whitecaps will look to break back the other way. Blundell has a goal, passing ahead, but it was well out of the reach of Kimwemwe, who I sense might have been offside and just didn't make the run at it. Robotham over to Nichols. Left side, Foglietta. Taken away by Sather. Oching back to the keeper. So we are in stoppage time. 2 minutes to be added on, so probably another 60 seconds or so. Creed will take it for Harbourside and just make the safe play and chip it out of play. Chance for the so-called, I guess, buzzer beater, if you want to mix sports metaphors here for the Whitecaps. Ball falls nicely, but a good clearance off the boot of Nichols, and then a shot well wide of the goal from distance, just on the outside of the area. Nice little breeze at field level as well, although it is interesting to note that the flags on this side of the pitch kind of blowing towards us, it's more sort of a downwind breeze along the pitch along that far side, so it gives you a little bit of an idea. It is changing pretty quickly in terms of direction, but nothing too strong or a game influencing by any stretch. And an offside call again as Kimwemwe just a half a step ahead. This will probably be one of the last kicks, as it'll go to Nichols, and that'll do it. 45 minutes in the books, and the Vancouver Whitecaps lead by a score of 2-1. Jasmine Wilkinson has the lone goal for Harbourside. She scored in the 30th minutes. Spectacular goal from about 25 yards out. Found an airborne ball, just turned, spun, fired off the left boot, and found the top corner. Highlight reel stuff from Wilkinson. That got the Harbourside back into it after the Whitecaps made it 2-0 through goals from Kira Blundell in the 14th minute, and following up was Ashley Roberts a few minutes later. And that makes it a 2-0 score, made it a 2-0 score, I should say. And then Wilkinson's tally able to get Harborside back within a goal after 45 minutes. We'll get to our halftime programming here in a second. We'll go back to our pre-game show interview, actually, with Harborside head coach Bobby Taylor. A few in the chat on our YouTube channel here at League One BC mentioning that they couldn't hear it, wanted to hear it. So we'll replay that. We'll come back, and then we'll tee up Mary Nichols, who I had a chance to chat with earlier on today as well. And we'll get to those two interviews now. But first up, Harborside head coach Bobby Taylor talking on the Victoria game on Friday nights. One where perhaps Harborside let 3 points slip. They come away with one. They get the 1-1 draw. But 3 points were there, and it was about 60 to 120 seconds away from being there. Harborside led 1-0. Very late, one of the last kicks of the game. Equalizer from Victoria, and it was a 1-1 score in the First Island Derby here in League One. Now, that being said, you still take a point away, and we talked with Bobby Taylor about how important it was to focus on the 90 minutes that got Harborside there, a very, very good 90 minutes at that, and exactly how you go about moving on from that and not focusing on that last 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think we have to be honest, and we do have to reflect on what we didn't address in the game, and we have to control what we need to control. And we need our leaders to step up and really take control of managing the game, which we admittedly did not do very well. So we'll learn from it, and we've got lots of games left, so hopefully we get ourselves in that situation again where we can hold the lead.
And those learning experiences are so valuable, particularly for, I don't want to say a young team, because there's a lot of experience on this team, but a young team as a collective group, I imagine.
That's exactly right. When you're collective, sometimes you assume that someone's going to step up, or it just doesn't happen, and it just didn't happen. So that's all right.
Wanted to talk about defensively. I was going through numbers today, and I believe Kara Dunlop, who's not playing this afternoon, is your only player to play the 5 games so far. I wanted to ask about her. Obviously, an impeccable career through VIU with some national honours in there as well. What she has brought, but also what the decor around her have brought, and your ability to replace her here this afternoon, and the depth that you have on that back end.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Kara's earned a rest, and also just We're slim in numbers this upcoming weekend over versus altitude, and so we want to give time to players that will be there and that I didn't get in the previous game. And it's really a good opportunity for Kara as a leader to sit back and watch a game and watch a quality team that we're playing, and maybe add to her standard of her game as well that can transfer over to the rest of our team.
Being able to add Jasmine Wilkinson as well, I know you're probably very excited about that. Someone with amazing pedigree through Team Canada, some NCAA experience as well through Texas A&M coming up this coming up season. Watched her in practice midweek. She looks physical, she looks fast, she looks good on the ball. Just talk to me on what she's brought through a couple of games so far.
Yeah, I think from first game to second game, her energy is just shot right up. I think she's more comfortable in the environment with the players again. And as you could see in the training environment, she's a lot of fun. She's super competitive, but she really just adds to the whole dynamics of the game, of the team. So it's fun.
This is a Vancouver Whitecaps team which hasn't played League One in a couple of weeks, but both in terms of game time and travel have logged a lot of miles over that time as well. What do you know about them in terms of a program and the team that you'll see here this evening and expectations out of the Whitecaps?
Yeah, I think the Whitecaps, they're an in-house program, so they know each other very well. They eat, sleep, breathe, soccer and school together. So they will have their systems dialed in, and they're young and they're fast. But I think our physicality and our direct play can really challenge them, and we hope to do that, just that, like challenge them. And we'll see what they have.
In terms of your lineup, you talked about resting or rotating through. You've got some limited availability this upcoming weekend. How close are you to sort of your dedicated 11, or is it your goal to be able to rotate through, your 20 plus on any given afternoon?
I think we have some dedicated players, but we have to be aware of energy and people's lifestyles and what they have going on and other commitments. So any of our 26 players are ready to step in, and they're quality players. So we do a lot of talking about it before we set the roster, and there's always justifications for bringing in a player into the roster or having a player brought out, but we like to think that we think it out very, very long and deeply and with a lot of consideration.
That is Bobby Taylor talking originally from our pregame show. We had some audio issues before the game. Apologize for that. But talking on, obviously, today's game against the Whitecaps, the game against the Highlanders as well from a few days ago. We'll get now to our scheduled halftime feature, and that is with the Harborside captain, Mary Nichols. And again, kind of started on a similar note, talking about Friday night against the Highlanders. What has been discussed amongst the team following a really, really solid, at points, really convincing, dominating performance against Victoria through about, let's say, 90 minutes, maybe even to 91 minutes of that game. And then it was just a couple of minutes right at the end. How dangerous it was to potentially focus on that too much when you had such a great dance in order to get there and to a 1-0 lead, which ultimately ended in a 1-1 tie. Just chatting with Mary Nichols on how that game is viewed internally from the team.
Yeah, it was hard, definitely leaving that game, especially ending on the note we did. But even tonight, Bobby talked about a lot of the positives that we had out of that game, and it was more positives than negatives because it was really only a few minutes there at the end where they got that chance on us. So yeah, definitely a lot of positives out of that game.
The opportunistic nature of the goal to Ava Alexander, I believe, who was slotting it home, that just shows a lot of good things going right. It shows aggression off the ball. It shows being right place, right time. Talk to me sort of through that goal and how that goal is viewed from the team in terms of doing the right things.
Yeah, well, started from the back, we were all just playing very calmly from the back, and the past few weeks we've been looking for these over top balls and things like that because we're so wide and fast up front and that type of thing. So yeah.
In terms of finding this team's identity and the way that it wants to play, obviously Bobby and coaches have their instructions, but merging this group together and getting everybody on the same page, sort of how has that process gone now that we're sort of 3, 4, 5 weeks into this group's history?
I think it's been pretty good so far because there is a big core group of girls that play on VIU, and I know myself and another few girls we used to play together, so that hasn't been too hard in terms of merging together. So I feel in that way we've been going really good together, and I'd say our main identity would be Probably like, I don't know, like aggression maybe, because not super technical team, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the depth on this team, though, it seems as there's a lot of, certainly watching home opener, watching against Natsumal, despite the results not being what this team wanted, there was a lot of contribution off the bench, both games. Just talk to me on depth and the talent on this team.
Well, I mean, past few weeks we've had people coming in like Jasmine and people coming in from the bench, like in the Highlanders game, still make an impact. Like we were still able to go to the full 90 minutes despite the goal. So yeah, lots of depth with different age ranges from the younger girls to the older girls. Like everyone brings something to the table.
It's tough not to get excited about a Whitecaps team coming in. I mean, BC Soccer, the Vancouver Whitecaps, they're synonymous. Obviously, the Whitecaps team carries a lot of experience and a lot of talent. Talk me through what you know about them, expectations, them coming here to Kinnistuk Wednesday.
Well, because of their age, I know they're going to be a lot quicker than us because I played them before, and they're just really technical on the ball. But I think our maturity and like knowing when to do things rather than them, and not getting like pulled out, not letting them pull us out and get out of spot. But yeah, our maturity over them is going to really be our advantage for this game.
I love talking with leaders because everybody does it a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
And I'm curious your take on it. How vocal are you? How much do you feel you need to talk with a group that is so interconnected? 14, 15 former, current Mariners, a lot of players who have played together in different stages of their career. How active, I guess would be the word, of a leader do you need to be out there?
A lot of girls, they already know their part, so it's just like simple little things to just try and keep the girls going. But my main thing is I try and lead by example by always just like showing up, working hard,
The field here at Kinnistuk, and not only that, but the environment that Harbourside has been able to create now, 2 or 3 home games in. How much are you able to sort of take that in during the 90 minutes, and how much do you let yourself take that in during a game as well?
Every now and again when the ball goes out, I love looking around and seeing all the fans and all the cheers. Like, it's amazing. Like, I don't even get that at my university like that some days, so it's just really cool to have the small community of Nanaimo really coming in for a high-level team.
That is Harbourside captain Mary Nichols talking ahead of today's game against the Vancouver Whitecaps. Through 45 minutes worth of play, the Whitecaps, lead Harbourside by a score of 2-1. We're going to step away for a few minutes. We'll come back with second half action here from Kinnistuk Stadium.
Soccer fans, once again, we welcome you to Kinnistuk Stadium here in Nanaimo on Senate Territory for League One BC soccer action. We appreciate you joining us here on this Wednesday evening. Again, a big hello and welcome as well to minor soccer players, including those from Nanaimo United. Thank you so much for joining us in support of Senate Soccer here in Nanaimo and Vancouver, Columbia. Reminder that our men's national team is kicking off our 8th game. We invite you to stick around for that game involved. That's second season break from the Fleet Camp in behind us here. And let's start with some of those sponsors, including Ramsey Watson Road, O'Neill, Duncan and Trent, Texas Community Credit Union, Easy Home and Auto Parts, Ryan Belton Realty, as you're excited, G-Rated Service Services, Iron Electric Company, Bills and Community, West Bay Mechanical, Cedar Valley Dental Center, we take on the uniforms for League One BC Soccer here in Nanaimo.
And welcome back to Kinnistuck Stadium here in Nanaimo. My name is Alex Ronsley, getting set for second half action here tonight between Harbourside FC and the Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Whitecaps lead by a 2-1 score. And we are underway in our second half. Harbourside working from our left to right in this second half in their home blues. The two-tone blue uniform, the white trim in there as well. The Whitecaps from our right to left in their white jerseys with the navy, a little bit of red trim in there as well. A couple of substitutions were made at half. Taylor Kinley, I see on the field at the moment, so we'll try and pick those up as we go, as they kind of happen very, very quickly and played out for a corner. This will be the third corner for the Whitecaps here this evening. Looks like there's been a little bit of a shift in the formation as well. Jasmine Wilkinson is up as a striker at the moment, and Erin Jensen has moved back in towards sort of a right midfield role. Everybody back for Harbourside. Long drive played into the side of the goal. So Kinley was one on. Can see her number 7. So she's the third substitute. And the fourth one for Harbourside will try to pick up as we go through. I believe it'll be Olivia Mazarenko in midfield. And a pass down the left side with speed, looking to try and connect onto it. Centering intended for Wilkinson. Harbourside wanted a handball. They didn't get it. A second delivery. High intended for either Wilkinson or Jensen. Couldn't connect with either. And it's played out for a throw. Ginyak on this right side. Long throw off the head of a Whitecaps defender. Played out and away. That's by Blundell. Now out to middle, Kimwemwe. Trying to play it ahead. Gathered by Nichols, just inside half. Now out to that left side. Mazarenko, the intended target, never got there. Foglietta was the passer and just couldn't quite connect with the teammate up front. Free kick coming to the Whitecaps as Foglietta getting a shot, a shoulder, I should say. So it is Mazarenko and Kinley taking over in midfield. That'll be Machida is off, and I believe Shea Batty as well. We're just trying to pick up the new formation and the new sort of structure here at the moment. Down the right side. Trying to pass in towards the middle. Good body, but a better keep. That's Alexander. Now for Mazarenko. Overlap along that left wing. The cross delivered. Jensen the target, and it's just off her head and over and behind. And it's played down this left wing by the Whitecaps, and Gignac ensures that goes out of play. Good start to the second half here for Harbourside. They've played a majority of it inside the attacking half. Kylie Ray, so that's a third substitute now for Harbourside at half. It's Kinley, Mazarenko, and now Ray on the pitch. So I believe she would have taken, she's at least in the spot that Jillian Stewartson had in that first half. Some of these substitutions, they happen very quickly, and if you look down for a second, there's 3 come on. We know the 3 that have come on and just working on making sure that we have the 3 that are off. But Machida is not out there anymore. I don't see Shea Batty. I believe Ava Alexander's gone over. So I don't see Shea Batty along this near side. And then Stewartson as a ball played in towards Robotham. Pardon me, your chance. Whitecaps through the middle, trying to deliver a kick on ahead, and this will be for Robotham. Now we've got the right net, as Robotham will control. Rolls it back over to Nichols. Men's game comes up at 8 o'clock tonight against these same 2 teams. The Whitecaps Academy and the men's team for Harbourside. Jensen looking to try and receive a ball, but it was played away. Now Kinley through center. Plays over to the far side. Alexander. Jensen wants it. There is some options behind. Goes back to Kinley in the middle. Good touch. Kinley poked ahead. Is trying to run onto it. Was Mazarenko. Just couldn't quite connect on it. And it's cleared convincingly by the Whitecaps. Nichols. Off her head. So Stewartson. That is Stewartson running with her. So Maya Creed, I believe, is the third substitute off. Because Stewartson is slotted back into a central defense role. So it'll be Creed, Machida, and Batty, I believe, off. In favor of Mazarenko, Kinley, and Ray on. That is your 3 that came at 45. Delivered high off the post. Robotham was watching. It pinballed back to her, and lucky not to put it into her own net. A quick reaction, able to gather. The shot was high. It turned Robotham. She watched it come off the corner and right back into her. And a fortunate bounce for Harborside. Maintains a 2-1 score here in our 52nd minute. Gignac. Ball played to the middle, cut off by the Whitecaps. Comes back to Kira Martin. Over to that far side on Mateo. Back to Martin. Played up through the middle, intended for Turner. She has to get it back on a second try. Delivers over that far side. Oching, a little give and go. Back to Omateo. Again, Wilkinson has more slotted into that lone striker role, being supported by Mazarenko and Kinley. And then sort of over on a right wing, Jensen, who started the game as the striker, has moved back. Out for a throw-in for for Whitecaps, I should say. Just inside their own half. Good push early from Harbourside, but the Whitecaps have regained a measure of control, as they did through a good portion of the first half. A roll on this near side, touching and rolling there. That is Sienna Gibson trying to center on the cross, but unable to gain control. That'll be a goal kick. Wind just beginning to pick up just a little bit. It is breezier up here in our broadcast spot at neighboring Rotary Bowl from Kakinishtuk. 2-1 the score in favor of the Whitecaps. Harbourside looking for an equalizer. Jasmine Wilkinson has the lone goal for the home team so far. Kinley a good boot. Here's Wilkinson now. Looking to drag it with her. Pressured from behind. Got the pass to Jensen, right wing. Looking for support in the middle. Lofts a ball towards the net, and it's easily gathered as Alexander was optimistic in the middle, but the goalkeeper out to gather. Kali Ursetz. Plays it to the near side. Kira Martin. Martin trying to get away from Wilkinson. Plays it up the near side. Mazarenko able to knock it down. Got it to Wilkinson. Back to Mazarenko. Feed over to the far side. Alexander delivers. Jensen, the intended target, headed away. Only as far as the boot of Kinley. The Whitecaps regather. Quick in transition. Here come the Whitecaps down the right wing. This is Asia Turner. Turner cutting in to the 18-yard box. Gets around Gignac. Good boot, though, from Stewardson. Clears danger. Only as far as midfield, although Mazarenko and Kinley will do the rest. Still battling. Mary Nichols trying to clear. Off the body, Nichols gathered. Whitecaps wanted a handball inside the box, but referee's arm stayed down. Ball comes to the near touchline. Turner. Into the middle for Sather. Plays back near side, Gibson. Gibson, a long ball into the middle. Kimwemwe heads towards the goal, more of a pass into space than a shot towards the net. Easily gathered by Robotham. Long ball. Trying to bring it to ground. Harbourside do. That's through Mazarenko. Back to Ray. To Nichols. Has support along that left side. Just can't quite connect on it. Back inside the Whitecaps zone. They'll control. Still a bit of a feeling out start to this second half as the Whitecaps try this time with the long ball down the left side. It's Sienna Gibson is centering on a cross all the way along the pitch, but it's cleared away by Harbourside. Just outside the 18-yard box, and now the Whitecaps regather. Oching. Back to the captain, Omateo. Still working along that right side. Centering. Tons of support along this near wall, but instead back to the captain. Long delivery, airborne. Robotham in. It would have been offside regardless. Robotham out to gather. Assistant's flag went up. Whistle not needed as Robotham has control. Nichols gives it away on an errant clear. Here come the Whitecaps back. Down the right side. Long drive and right in on Robotham. Into the breadbasket, able to control. No rebounds, no dramas for the goalkeeper in blue. We'll call it a teal. They're both in blue tonight, but we'll call it an aquamarine blue. Wilkinson, a header to herself down the right side, able to regather. She's battling one. Passes it back off Kinley. Touch pass down the right side, Jensen. Looking for a cross, finds one. Might come off a leg, but the assistant all on the near side in good position, right close to it. Said no, thought I heard a couple of noises, but might have been Jensen's boot to ball and then Jensen's shin pads to the shin pad of Kira Martin. Regardless, a goal kick quickly taken. Pleasure to have you on board here on just an absolutely gorgeous Wednesday night on Central Vancouver Island here at Kakinishtuk Stadium in Nanaimo as a through ball intended for Joy Kimwemwe, but gathered by Robotham. Notice the Whitecaps are very aggressive on those playouts by the goalkeeper, whether they're goal kicks or whether they're just clearances from the goalkeeper. Kim Wemwey's been playing very high on attack, just trying to catch any sort of mistake, any sort of whiff from the opponent. It's to take a basketball term, it's a full court press almost. Ginyak. They're down the touchline, but just an errant pass as she had her leg partially checked, getting that away. The men's game comes up at 8 o'clock as the sun sets in behind us on Mount Benson here in Nanaimo. Long shadows for the players. Temperature dropping a couple of degrees as well. There's a light breeze. It's about, we'll call it 19 or so degrees. It's just gorgeous. It's the middle of May, and this is what we're dealing with. We'll take it. Whitecaps in their own half. Martin opening up and receiving the pass is the captain, Omateo. Pass down the right side. Well taken by Olching. Pressured as Mazarenko finds herself one-on-one as Olching tried to play it ahead. Cleared by Harborside and out of play for a throw. 59th minute here at Kakinishtuk. Whitecaps lead by a score of 2-1. A little overplay on that far side by the Whitecaps. This will be a Harbourside throw this time. Foglietta looking to gather. Long throw as well. Just skimmed over the head of Wilkinson. Trying to latch onto it was Mazarenko ahead. Whistle will come. Wilkinson's down. Might have just caught a boot in that challenge as we're kind of fishing for a ball. She's quickly back up. No damage, no drama. Quickly up, Jasmine Wilkinson, the lone goal scorer for Harbourside tonight. The Whitecaps will get it from the drop ball. Ochi goes back to the keeper. The Whitecaps, less urgency in the second half than they showed in the first, particularly to start. And the first really 20, 25, maybe even upwards of 30 minutes for the Whitecaps. It was solidly inside the Whitecaps, or I should say the Harborside half. The longer the game went on, though, and the longer the game has gone on, Harborside has looked better, more comfortable. You can see the presence, you can see the class of a player like Wilkinson who has the goal. Kinley coming on to provide that second half spark. She lofts the ball in towards there. Alexander, the intended recipient. The keeper out to gather. Watching the game here a couple of weeks ago against Nanaimo, and obviously the results not what Harborside wanted, giving up the 15 goals in the 2 games, but a lot to like about Taylor Kinley's game. She's just that, I'm pretty sure I referred to her in the last game as the Energizer Bunny. She just goes and goes and goes. You love those players, particularly in midfield, because you know that they're just going to give and give and give and always have that spark. So I like Kinley in midfield. Mazarenko has elements of that as well. Not to say that the other players don't. It's very noticeable with a player like Taylor Kinley. Even in those tough results against Nanaimo a couple of weeks ago. Kinley notable. Similar vein that Wilkinson has been tonight. Nice move, turn, fire, and just over the top of the crossbar. It was an ambitious shot from a long way out after a nice little spin move fake out. And an opportunity for the Whitecaps to retake a 2-goal lead. It was the long shot from Noelle Sather. It did not trouble Emily Robotham and narrowly missing over the top of the crossbar by probably about a ball or 2. Not much in it. Low drive from Foglietta. Ball spills to Kinley at middle. She's pressured, knocked off the ball. Mazarenko trying to regather. Here's the Whitecaps to take it away. Martin. Right side on Mateo. Intercepted by the Harbourside. Kinley. Low drive. Jensen tried to find her. Kinley will get it back. Will play it now to a vacant right wing as Jensen was up and ahead. And the Whitecaps will gather and have a throw. Gibson. Short throw on the call. Gibson tried to get it back, but was just wrong-footed after the rebound off Kira Blundell, who scored in our first half as well. She actually opened scoring this afternoon. Goal coming in the 14th minute, her second of the year. Nice little touch pass and a break down the right side. Here's Aya Turner. Turner inside the area, pass to the middle. It was intended for Kimwemwe. It was just in behind her. And making no mistake on the clear. It was Foglietta able to get it high and out of play for a throw. Good little give and go touch pass from the Whitecaps down that left side. '64th minute. Referee's blowing the whistle. This will be a corner kick. So second corner of the half for the Whitecaps. By my count, I don't believe Harborside have had a corner during today's game. I don't have one written down. By my count, this will be the fourth for the Whitecaps. Good crowd continuing to make their way in, probably up around 400 or 500 at the moment. Filing in after a long Wednesday's worth of work. And what better way to spend just a stunning evening in Nanaimo than here at Kikinishtuk. Ball came off the leg of Foglietta and out of play. As Arenko was there as an initial layer, it went just past her on trying to block that clear, or block that cross, I should say. So another corner coming here. And an opportunity for the Whitecaps looking to retake that 2-goal lead. It is a 2-1 Whitecap advantage. As a ball over the top of Robotham. Missed everybody else as well. Kept in along the near side by the Whitecaps, although Harborside with numbers will get it out to clear. Jensen thought she had a little bit more pressure than it actually come, and a long cross easily gathered by Robotham. Nichols along the left side. Looks like we're going to get a substitution here relatively soon from Harborside. Just taking a look along that far touchline. Interesting to see who comes in. I believe that'd be Maddie Dawson. Ball goes all the way down, and the Whitecaps will have a goal kick. No rush, so this will be the sixth substitution for the Whitecaps here. And it will indeed be Maddie Dawson coming on for Aaron Jensen, excuse me.
Harborside substitution into the game, number 12, Maddie Dawson.
So she comes in the 66th minute. And Aaron Jensen comes out. So 6 substitutes. The only one unused so far this afternoon is the goalkeeper, Kendra Parent. So this will likely, hopefully, you don't necessarily see a goalkeeping change very often unless it's necessary, I should say. This will be the 11 for the remainder of the game, the last 25, 30 minutes. Carly Ray back to Gillian Stewartson. Started the game in a defensive midfield role. Now back as a center back, as she's given a shoulder. Referee will just ask for a little bit of extra time with Joy Kimwemwe. Laying down the law, saying that's enough. Not sure if Kimwemwe's done too much aside from that. Certainly hasn't been a noticeable, overly physical presence to earn any sort of infraction. So referee just seeing that and wanting to nip it in the bud. Robotham back to Nichols. Up to the middle, Mazarenko. Played over to the far side. Skinyak. Now Wilkinson unleashed down the left side, but the ball out of her reach and out for a throw. So we'll say about 25 to 30 minutes left in this one, and it'll be a quick turnaround to the men. And their game scheduled for an 8 o'clock kickoff here. Comes back for the Whitecaps. Controlling in their own half, Kira Martin. Long ball down that left side. Turner runs onto it. We've seen this play a couple of times. Turner this time holds up, however. Check that, excuse me. That's Gibson. Turner overlapped her. Flag went up by that far official, but was immediately turned back down and was frantically motioning, no, that was a mistake. So play will continue. Wilkinson, good back check, able to get a tackle and strip the ball, but couldn't control it. And the Whitecaps will regather. Kira Martin. Long ball off the left boot, up and ahead, but sent straight back off the right of Nichols. To Wilkinson. Looking to drag the ball down, stripped of it. That was by Sather. And played up and ahead. Through ball, intended. Kimwemwe, great tackle. Whitecaps wanted a call, but it was clean. And it's cleared away by Harbourside. Kimwemwe wanted a free kick inside the box, wanted the penalty. A couple of players around still protesting, but that was ball, and that was a good defensive effort by Harbourside, able to clear as well. She's been a threat all game long as Joy Kimwemwe and a focal point of this Whitecaps offense. Just didn't quite go their way this time. Harborside tried to clear, not too many options. So it's just played for territory up that left wing by Harborside. '70th minute coming to an end momentarily, and another throw-in down that right side. The wind has definitely dropped down at pitch level. Flags not moving a whole ton. Still a little breezy up where we are, or at the neighboring Rotary Bowl, looking back over Kikinishtuk, and just a gorgeous Wednesday evening in Nanaimo. Very, very light cloud cover. Good few hundred people here taking in the game. Beer gardens well attended. Stands on both sides well attended too. Down the right side, left side, pardon me, that's Sienna Gibson. Trying to play it in. Good header away by Carly Ray. And Ray, off the right boot, will play it up. Kinley sends it the rest almost to half. Put out of play for a throw. An opportunistic and yet spectacular goal from Jasmine Wilkinson. Well outside the area, turning and spinning and firing off her left boot on the 30th minute of our first half. It's the lone Harborside goal. They trail the Whitecaps 2-1. Down that right side, looking to advance. Here come the Whitecaps outside the area. Centering on a cross. It was just off, or just over the head, I should say, of Turner. I believe that is pinching into the zone. Harborside able to clear, and this just beginning to feel a little bit like the start of the first half. Sort of wave after wave of Whitecaps attack. However, maybe not with the same sort of urgency. Yet to see the venom of that attack in this second half. Hustle on the left side, trying to be kept in, and it is just out of play. And Sienna Gibson looking to try and latch onto a long ball down the left wing. Harborside have tried that a fair amount in this second half. That long aerial route down the left wing for either Gibson or Turner. yet to amount to too much, certainly in terms of a direct attacking opportunity on net. And now we'll get a substitution, a double substitution for the Whitecaps. So Tegan Stewart will come on in favor of Joy Kimwemwe. He's coming in the 73rd minute. So Tegan Stewart's assumably slotting into an attacking role, and a second substitute will come off. Just trying to see the number from the fourth official. Haven't put the board up yet. And that board, there it is now. So it'll be 18 coming off, Emma Yee coming off in favor of Zara Baines. Here's the announcement from Matt Carter.
25, Tegan Stewart. Number 27, Mia Gutierrez.
Oh, sorry, Gutierrez. Sorry, my apologies. I saw 28, not 27. So Mia Gutierrez comes on in the 73rd minute. 4 substitutions made by the Whitecaps. 6 made by Harbourside. So still some options for the visitors with, we'll call it 20 minutes left to play, including stoppage. Near side. That's for Turner, trying to play it into the box, still being kept outside. Gutierrez. Stewart over that far side. Whitecaps trying to control. They do. Still along that far side wing. Rolling. Top of the penalty box. Played out over to the far side, Oching. Back into the middle. Roberts. Looking to return. Feed Nichols getting the leg in front of it. Able to clear it away. Only out to center, though. Good boot. Taken away by Maddie Dawson, who's the 6th and final substitute for Harborside here this afternoon. Oching. Right side among the defenders. Back to the captain on Mateo. Reeled in by Santa. A reminder, we've got the men's game coming up at 8 o'clock. Our broadcast stream will go live around 7:45. Quick pregame show, and then right back into action at 8 o'clock with the men's game. Harborside against the Whitecaps Academy. Gibson, left wing, crossing, looping pass out of the reach of everybody. Running onto it and conceding a goal kick. Well, the Whitecaps is time continuing to tick away. 75 and change gone in this game so far. Still plenty of time. Whitecaps lead by a 2-1 score. You can see the men's team warming up on the field behind us, just getting set. Kevin Lindo running them through their paces. Gignac. Touch pass in the middle for Kinley, just overplayed it, out for a throw. Those watching from the Lower Mainland may be unfamiliar with this area. It's part of the stadium district in Nanaimo. All along 3rd Street, just outside the city's downtown. A 2-minute drive or 3-minute drive from the city's downtown. You've got this field here, Kakinishtuk, which houses both the VI Raiders, obviously Harborside, VIU Mariners soccer, outdoor lacrosse, whole host of sports on this multi-use turf field. And then immediately in behind us, you've got the Rotary Bowl, which is a full track, 400 meters, plus dedicated 100-meter sprint as well. And then neighboring us is Sir Oxman Stadium, baseball home to the Mid-Island Pirates, a number of local teams, as well as obviously the Nanaimo Night Owls in the West Coast League. So a lot of sport. And then across the street, you got the Nanaimo Ice Center, which houses a lot of minor hockey, and the Nanaimo Buccaneers of the Vancouver Island Junior B Hockey League as well. So a lot of sport in and around this area. Slated for some further development in coming years as well. Very early plans in terms of adding some more seating getting north of sort of 8,000, combining all three facilities. Probably about, let's say, 2,000 here at the moment, maybe 1,800 at Kakinishtuk. I believe around the same for Soroxman. And then Rotary Bowl is a few hundred, maybe close to 1,000 there. So looking to really expand capacity, which is, great news for Harbourside moving into this facility for their first year, and all the other teams that play here as well. Down the right side as the Whitecaps trying to find a little bit of insurance, but the wall from Harbourside not breaking. Interesting to note, Wilkinson playing in that striker role. She's been a little bit less involved just by nature of the position. Just hasn't been that kind of initial target. She's obviously that final destination for the ball as the lone striker, but hasn't been. It's a long, hopeful shot, just grazes over the crossbar. There's an opportunity, potentially from Turner. Again, just trying to get a read on the numbers, but it wasn't Turner. Trying to get a read on that middle, but regardless, a long shot from the Whitecaps over the crossbar. And again, Robotham stretched but not called upon. Ray with a good header. Falls nicely. Turner, left side, battling with Gignac. Turner delivers on her right boot. Nichols there. Stewardson just overplay, and a whistle will go. It'll be a free kick, but it will go to Harbourside. And now we will get a substitution. Now this will be Zara Baines coming on and coming off Noel Sather. So a substitution here in the 80th minute.
Substitution. Into the game, number 28, Zara Baines.
So Baines will play into midfield. Sather has been very good through 80 minutes here this evening. Particularly in that first half, in that initial push, kind of that 25, 30 minutes of real pressure from the Whitecaps. She was in and around just about everything. Mazarenko tried to play it back to Ray. It came off a Whitecaps boot. Falls nicely for the visitors. Good boot, though, and a good poke away from Gignac. Kinley took a hit to make a play and got it out to center. Sent straight back in by Gibson on the run. Played over to the far side. First touch of it for Baines. Baines near side. Pass down that left side, intended for Gibson, just never quite got there. Out for a throw. 10 minutes and change left in this second half. Harbourside trail by a 2-1 score. Alexander wearing Turner on her back. Cleared back in, and dangerously for the Whitecaps. Is Gutierrez. A drive, scores! Mia Gutierrez only on the pitch for about 8 minutes. And onto the score sheet as she scores from distance outside the 18-yard box. A drive off the left boot. Past an outstretched Emily Robotham. And the Whitecaps extend their lead. It's 3-1. Been interesting to watch those goals coming from distance, and this will bring another substitution. Keelan Stewart will come on.
Whitecap substitution in the game, number 24, Keelan
Turner
Stewart.
Will come off. So just a short run for Aya Turner. Played about 41 minutes or so. Came on towards the end of the first half. And then comes off late in the second. Now work to do for Harbourside. Trying to avoid their fourth loss of the season. Is Wilkinson in that central midfield, attacking midfield role. Kinley. Pass down that left side, trying to run onto it is Foglietta. She will get there, but played out by the Whitecaps, and a throw.
Whitecaps FC goal scored by number 27, Mia Gutierrez.
There's the confirmation of the goal. Mia Gutierrez makes it a 3-1 Whitecaps lead. Long throw, drive. Ray steps in and it gets blocked. Ray had a great shot at it, got a good shot away, but it never found its way to net as it was blocked on its way through. But what a drive from Carly Ray. Whitecaps clear back out to center. Nichols trying to find Wilkinson. Doesn't quite get there. Thought Wilkinson had shifted back into that midfield role, but now that Harbourside set up, she is back in that striker role. Azarenko, at least temporarily, had sort of subbed with her at the top of the formation. Ball down that far flank for the Whitecaps, and it's out of play for a throw. So now some work to do for Harbourside. Try and find something. If the goal's already this evening anything to go by, it'll come from distance. Of the 4 that we've had this afternoon, this evening, 3 from outside the area. Nichols able to cut off a through ball and clear out for a Whitecaps throw. Again, the men's team stretching at Rotary Field, the Rotary Bowl, I should say, just immediately behind us. They'll be on the pitch for an 8 o'clock start. It'll be a quick turnaround. We'll have that game for you live here on the League One BC YouTube channel as well. Six minutes plus stoppage time. We shouldn't have too much in the way of stoppage time. We haven't had sort of any real extended injuries or pauses in this game. Certainly in the second half. I wager you'll see 1 or 2 added minutes. But nothing extensive as Harbourside try to clear that through Nichols, but it's off a Whitecap boot and out of play for a throw. Shadows continue to get longer. The sun setting in behind us. And behind Mount Benson, overlooking Nanaimo. Wilkinson, you can tell that she's been the focal point for a lot of Harbourside attack, and the Whitecaps know that. Anytime she's been around the ball, there's been 2 on her. Tons of high-level experience for Wilkinson, Team Canada, NCAA soccer as well. Probably one of the highest level capped Harbourside players in terms of their background and soccer experience. We talked in the pregame show, Kara Dunlop, who had played all 5 games, was one of just 2 Harbourside players, men or women, to play all 5 opening games. Her streak ending here this afternoon. Did not take part in today's game, resting ahead of a weekend game against Altitude. A long pass down the left side, jumping onto it, centering, and a good body by Nichols, able to clear that away. The chance along the near side by Martin. Or check that, excuse me, Keelan Stewart. Stewart will go back. That is now for Martin. Mateo. Looking, searching, delivers a long high ball, body, and a free kick will come. Just trying to create some space, Kira Blundell executed a pretty good hip check, but taking Jillian Stewartson out of the play. Ball along the left flank for Harbourside. Taylor Kinley. Support back through Stewartson. Nichols. Stewartson near side. Pressure. Gets back to Robotham, just outside the 18-yard box. She'll unload. A long drive over the head of Alexander. Headed back. Ray stepping up, trying to get a hold of that one, and here come the Whitecaps back down the left side. This is for Keelan Stewart looking to center, finds a friendly boot, and they score. And it is a 4-1 Whitecaps lead. Just trying to get a read on that number. It might be Tegan Stewart. But the cross from Keelan Stewart along this left side went through a couple, found support along that far side. Just looking as the players break up, believe that's Tegan Stewart. We'll wait for the call from Matt Carter down at pitch level, but that makes it a 4-1 Whitecap advantage. So barring something utterly spectacular, as an offside will be the call. That'll be against Wilkinson. Barring something absolutely unspectacular in the last couple of minutes plus stoppage time, the Whitecaps will improve to 4-0. Come off their, we'll call it a break, although they have been playing a lot. Just not in League One. Offside will be the call as, again, the Stewarts trying to connect. This time it was again Keelan to Tegan, but Tegan just half a step ahead and put the ball over the crossbar. It was offside to boot. So the Whitecaps will improve to 4-0.
Whitecaps FC goal scored by number 25, Tegan Stewart.
The assist will go to a sister, Keelan Stewart. Harbourside will go to 1-4-1. Mazarenko will give up a free kick. A little bit of a delayed whistle, despite the fact Harbourside had possession. Free kick on the challenge from Mazarenko. So free kick from a long way out. 4-1 Whitecap lead. Delivers to the box. Controlled, settled, back up top, but only blue jerseys there. And the Whitecaps control. Sent back in. Trying on the overlap was Kira Mutt. Long drive from distance, and it's out of play. Goal kick the call. About 10 seconds left in regulation. I would imagine we'll get 1, maybe 2 minutes of stoppage time in this one. Fourth official, 3 minutes. There you go. So we'll play an extra 3.
The official has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes may be added on. 3 minutes added on.
Whitecaps control. Roberts. Back to Martin. Head over that far side, Gutierrez. Came off the bench. 6 or so minutes later, she scored. Ahead. Here's Stewart. Drive from a long way out, all the way along the floor, and that's easily gathered by Robotham. They're easy to pick out, Keelan and Tegan Stewart. Both a lot shorter than many of the other players, but already just a few minutes in, making an impact. Very easy to find each other. Obviously a lot of speed and skill there as well. Here's Keelan trying to find Tegan. Tegan will regather along this near side. Looking to shield the ball. Getting pressured by Gignac. Good little duck through. Wanted a free kick. The referee will not oblige. Harborside will clear. That was Keelan Stewart trying to find a whistle just outside the area. Stewart again. This time Keelan Stewart, the intended target on a ball down this left side, but nothing doing. So we are into stoppage time in the second half. 3 minutes was added on. Right, the men's game comes up at 8 o'clock. That'll be on a different link on the YouTube channel, so you'll have to find that one, but it is published and we'll go live here pretty much right after this game. Ava Alexander. Is there something late that Harborside can hang their hat on in terms of a scoreline? Jasmine Wilkinson's effort from a long way out. The lone joy for Harborside this afternoon. There have been some good opportunities, though. Wilkinson trying to play it ahead from Mazarenko, but just got their wires crossed and couldn't connect. Baines. She'll go for a run. Baines plays it up and ahead. Roberts shifting gears, looking for somebody through the middle. There were options. Blundell was one, Stewart another. It splits them and goes through into Robotham. Alexander will chip it towards the Whitecaps' goal. 4-1 the score. Nearing the final kick here. Everybody looking at the referee. The Whitecaps, maybe one last rush. Baines plays down the left side, and that'll do it. Full time here at Kakinishtuk, and the Whitecaps win by a 4-1 score. Again, elements to like from a Whitecap, from a Harborside perspective. Obviously, a lot to like from a Whitecaps perspective as well. Jasmine Wilkinson's goal back in the 30th minute, the lone joy. Emily Robotham making some good saves in net, but just constant pressure from the Whitecaps yields a 4-1 score. That'll do it from us here at Kakinishtuk for the women's game. The men's game goes at 8. A big thank you to Bill and Sampson for operating the camera here, and we'll talk to you in a few minutes as the men get ready to take the field and take on the Whitecaps at 8 o'clock. My name's Alex Ronsley. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Final score from Kakinishtuk in Nanaimo is the Whitecaps 4 and Harborside 1. Good night from Nanaimo.